Fantastic, it's recording. Let's get straight to it. Welcome to the webinar. Tonight's webinar will be on PTE speaking and specifically on repeat sentence. This is part of e2language.com Secrets for Success webinar series. My name is Jay. Let's get straight to it. What does a repeat sentence look like when you're sitting in the PTE exam? It looks like this. It's not very exciting. Here you have a set of instructions. You get an audio player from which the sentence comes. You must look at this as a friendly thing, not a scary thing. And you get an audio recorder that looks pretty similar, if not identical. One has output, the other has input, okay? What do you have to do in PTE speaking, read aloud, repeat sentence? What do you have to do? Well, this is what you do. You get 3 seconds to prepare to listen, okay? So the clock ticks down from 3, 2, 1. You have to take a deep breath in that 3 seconds. Go deep breath and relax. And the audio player will start, okay? You will hear a single sentence, just one sentence, and you only hear it once. That's it, never again. You hear one sentence and you hear it once. You must listen to the sentence like your life depends on it. You must listen so carefully. Although this is a speaking task, it very much depends on your ability to listen, okay? After the sentence has finished, there will be 2 seconds, and then the audio recorder will beep, make a beep sound, okay? So after the sentence is finished, there'll be 2 seconds, then the audio recorder will beep. You must repeat the sentence exactly as you heard it. Okay, now exactly, this is an interesting word, and we're going to look in detail at how to do this task successfully, so stay with me. How many will you get in your PTE? Well, it depends. You'll get between 10 and 12, depending on your exam. Let's do one. You ready? Let's get straight to one. Listen carefully. 3, 2, 1. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Repeat. I can't hear you actually, so I have no idea if you did that correctly or not. Let's push on. We're going to look in more detail at that one in a second. Repeat sentence contributes to which scores in the PTE? Well, it contributes primarily to speaking, but repeat sentence also contributes to your listening score, and for your enabling skills, it contributes to your oral fluency score and your pronunciation score. So primarily speaking, a little bit on listening, and it contributes to these enabling skills scores. Now, let me just have a look at some questions and answers. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of people in here, so I'm terribly sorry if I don't answer your question. Let me have a look at some questions now. Okay, Ashwin says there's no beeping sound. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember from my exam. Was there a beeping sound? I think there was. I don't know. Whoa. Surajit says, was that my PTE score back there? No, that was not my PTE score. That was one of my students' PTE score. All right, everyone's saying there's no beep. Okay, fine. No beep sound. There you go. I stand corrected. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to push on. Okay, there's a bit of controversy about the beep sound. It doesn't matter. On the day, it's fine. When that recorder changes, you have to repeat the sentence. Okay. Doesn't matter, doesn't really matter. Let's push on and talk about scoring, okay? This is more important, how you're scored. So you scored on 3 things. You scored on content, pronunciation, and oral fluency, okay? Let's look at these one by one. Content. Okay, so you can get a maximum of 3 points per repeat sentence. And you'll get 3 points for content if you repeat every word in the correct sequence. Okay? If you repeat every word in the correct sequence, you'll get 3 points. You'll get 2 points if you can repeat more than 50% of the words in the correct sequence. So if you get one word wrong, you'll get 2 points, as long as you have it in the correct sequence. If you get less than 50% of the words, so say the sentence has 10 words and you get 4 of them in the correct sequence, you'll get 1 point. And you'll get 0 if you sit there and go, I have no idea. Okay, now let's look at content in more detail, because it's in content where you get errors. Okay, here's the first type of error. It's when you say a different word. So you listen to the sentence and you repeat it, and one of those words, you say a different word. Let's look at specifics on this, specific words that you can say differently. You can say an entirely different word. For example, instead of newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space, you accidentally say magazines. That's an entirely different word. That counts as 1 error for content. You can also get an error for content if you say an ungrammatical word. For example, newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Here is an adjective. It should be an adverb and say primarily by the sale of advertising space. So if you say the same word, but it's in a different grammatical sense, adjective or adverb, or if the verb is wrong, or if the preposition's wrong, or the article's wrong, or the noun is singular and you say plural, etc., that counts as 1 error. So here we learn that grammar is extremely important, because yes, you're memorizing a sentence and repeating it, but when you repeat it, if you can't quite memorize it, you still have to repeat it with correct grammar. And the sentence that you receive will always be grammatically correct. Okay? Another type of error is if you miss a word. For example, newspapers are supported by the sale of advertising space, and you've missed this word primarily. That counts as 1 error. Another type of error is when you add a word. And trust me, people do this, but they are unaware of it. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of the advertising space. Here, I have added a word that was not in the original sentence. Therefore, I have been penalized. 1 error. Let's push on with with how you're scored, and look at pronunciation, the second part of the scoring. In pronunciation, it's out of 5, and you'll get 5 if you have native-like pronunciation. What does that mean? Native-like pronunciation means that a native English speaker can understand you easily and without strain. So if you're speaking to me, I'm a native English speaker, and I can easily understand you. I don't have to concentrate or strain or think, what did she say? Or what did he say? If I can just easily understand you, that means you have native-like pronunciation and you'll score 5 points. If you do not have native-like pronunciation, I highly recommend this app, which paid users can have access to. It's called E2 Pronounce. It's a pronunciation app. It's a dictionary. You type in the word, you listen to the native speaker, you say the word into the phone. It will give you a score, for example, a B, and you can actually see your pronunciation, and you can learn how to improve your pronunciation. That's one of the benefits of being an e2language.com student, paid student, I should say. Let's push on and talk about oral fluency, okay? This is very important. So again, out of 5, native-like is what you're aiming for. What does that mean? Native-like oral fluency means you have good rhythm. It means you have good phrasing. We're going to look at each of these individually in a second. intonation going up and down, that you don't hesitate, you don't repeat, and you don't have a false start when you repeat the sentence. Let's look at these individually. Oral fluency with rhythm. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. You don't want to sound like a robot. Critically, when you listen to the sentence, you should try to copy the rhythm of the speaker. For example, this is good rhythm. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Okay, newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. I have rhythm in my voice, and the sentence that you hear, copy the rhythm. Okay, we're going to look more closely at a technique in a second. Second thing for oral fluency is phrasing. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. You can see that there are two parts to this sentence. Newspapers are supported primarily, slight pause, by the sale of advertising space. Copy the phrasing that you hear. Intonation means how your sentence goes up and down and up and down. Listen to this. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Copy the intonation that you hear. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Okay, up and down. Copy the intonation. Here's what you should not do, because oral fluency will tell you what you should do and it will tell you what you should not do. Don't hesitate. Newspapers are, what is it? Supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Don't do that. No ums, no ahs. Repeat the sentence without umming and ahhing. Secondly, don't repeat words, or don't say newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Don't do that. Okay, you will be penalized. The way that you should think about this is the computer gives you a sentence, right? Like this, perfect sentence. And what the computer wants you to do is repeat that sentence exactly the same. So every you put in, the computer doesn't like it. Or every repetition you do, remember the sentence is looking for 10 words, and if you put in a repetition, that's 11 words. Or if you repeat 3 words, that's 13 words, and the computer cannot match its sentence with your sentence. Your sentence needs to match the computer's sentence exactly. Of course, it's difficult, but we'll get to some practice in a second. No false starts. If you start a sentence, finish it. Don't do this. Newspapers are wait, let me go back. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of 3 errors here. The computer will recognize this part, but this part will be counted as 3 errors. And 3 errors may mean that you lose scores, okay? Lose points. Whew. Any questions? Let's have a look at the Q&A. Vineet says, generally, how many words come in one sentence? That's a great question. Let me count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'd say between sort of 10 and 15. In the technique, I'm going to show you how to, it's not about memorizing words. I'll show you in a second. Okay. Manpreet says, what if we say just half the sentence? That's better than saying none of the sentence. Okay. Okay, Abhishek says, what if I accidentally add an S to a word? For example, the sentence says, Johnny likes apples, and you say, Johnny likes apple. Well, that would count as one error, okay? So be careful, you must match the words exactly, including grammar. Okay, if you're unsure, some people are asking me some questions which I've answered at the beginning. If you're a paid member, you can watch this again and have those answered. Okay, Radha Krishna says, what if we start speaking before the recorder starts? Well, the recorder will just record half of your sentence. So make sure you wait until that recorder starts, whether it's a beep or a non-beep. In the exam, you will know because it definitely changes. There's a little clock that ticks down, 3, 2, 1, then you speak, okay? Somebody's asked, should we copy the speed of the sentence? Yes, great question, actually. Yes, you should try to mimic the sentence exactly. And that includes the speed. But I guess the mimicry, the copying of the sentence is more for the intonation and the phrasing rather than the speed. No, in fact, I would say try to copy the same speed as the sentence. That's a good general tip. I think that's a good tip because the way that the native speaker says it should be the way that you say it too. I should point out that in repeat sentence, you are going to hear lots of different accents. You'll hear Irish, you'll hear Australian, you'll hear South African. You might even hear a non-native English speaker, like an Indian accent. You might hear an American, British, etc. Okay, so there's different accents. There's also different intonation. Somebody might say a question. You have to repeat the question. Therefore, your intonation will rise at the end, for example. Herman says, how long is given to say the sentence? Well, I think the sentence only lasts for about 3 or 4 seconds. So you're given more time than that. But if you're not hesitating, if you're not restarting, you should be able to say it in the same amount of time. Sai Supala says, should we repeat the sentence with the same accent? No, don't worry about accent. If you hear an Irish accent, for example, don't repeat in an Irish accent back. Repeat in your accent back as long as you're speaking clearly. Good question. Olesigan says the speaker speaks too fast. Yes, indeed. It's very hard. I'll get to the technique on listening in a second. Okay, the anonymous viewer wants the magic method, so maybe I should push on or else we'll get stuck answering questions all night. I'm sorry. As I said before, there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in here tonight, so I can't answer all your questions. I'm terribly sorry. You can email hello@e2language.com if you have a good question that you need answered. Right, let's look at some possible sentence topics. Don't let this alarm you. Usually I do this and I say, scary, because you get topics like this in retail lecture or read aloud or whatever. The sentences are quite, should I say simple? They're not particularly complicated sentences. And in fact, a lot of the language is common language, common words, but maybe there'll be 1 or 2 words in each sentence that will come from a different topic like history or economics or business or biology or space sciences or sport. If that's the case, if the sentence says something like, oh, now I need to think of a complicated word. The rocket has aeronautical speed. I don't know. If you don't know that word aeronautical, you have to just say the rocket has aeronautical. Just try to say it, even if you don't know the word, okay? As long as your speech patterns are similar to aeronautical, if you say aeronautical, perhaps the computer will pick that up and give you a point for it. That's okay. But yes, there will be a couple of words here and there from these different topics. So yes, you should be a little bit worried if your vocabulary is not very big. Right. let's get to the technique. Now, the technique has two parts, okay? The first part is listening. The second part is speaking. Listening is just as important as speaking in this particular task. Yes, people think that it's a speaking task and they worry about their speaking, but you need to listen very carefully, okay? You need to clear your mind. What I noticed in the PTE when I took it was that it's very easy to be distracted in the PTE. Okay, you're sitting there, you're looking at a computer screen, there's no face, you're not talking to somebody. When you're talking to somebody, it's interesting and you're engaged. In the PTE, you're looking at a computer screen and the graphics are quite boring, and it's very easy for your mind to wander and think, oh, what will I have for dinner tonight? Oh, I wonder what my girlfriend's doing right now. Oh, geez, I'd love a new iPhone 7. Try not to do that, and particularly with repeat sentence. You really need to clear your mind, okay? In those 3 seconds, you have to just sort of meditate, just really clear your mind, because you may even want to close your eyes. I didn't close my eyes. What I did was I looked down, I blocked out my other senses, okay? Because other people are speaking, and I blocked out my sight. I didn't want to see. I'm not worrying about what I'm seeing. I'm just worried about hearing. And I just looked at something on the desk, and I cleared my mind and I absorbed the sentence. I absorbed it. I let that sentence enter my mind, okay? And I relaxed. I just really, really listened. Remember, if it doesn't go in, it won't come out. If it doesn't go in, it won't come out. Okay, you have to let the sentence in. You have to relax. You have to absorb it. You have to clear your mind. Okay? Right. The second part of the technique is this speaking part, and that's a little bit more complicated. But before we move on, any questions on listening? Any questions on the listening aspect? Okay. Peter says, does this task contribute to listening? The answer is yes. Okay, Ganesh says, if I close my eyes and missed to start at the right time. Actually, I shouldn't say close my eyes, close your eyes. I take it back. But what I mean by that is block out your other senses. Okay, don't be looking at the bird out the window and think, wow, that's a pretty bird. Okay, you need to sort of just concentrate on the listening. So you might want to do something like this. No, there's no images. Okay, Sushant's got a question about lowering the volume of the headphones. Make sure you do that at the start. Make sure you get your headphone volume right at the beginning. Abdul says it goes in, but it does not come out exactly. Oh, yeah, well. Okay. Can we make a note? Oh, great question. Steny says, can we make a note while listening? Absolutely not. There's some crazy advice going on out there where people say you should take your notebook and write down the first letter of each word. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. You're so distracted by writing that you don't hear the sentence, and then when you go to speak, what do you have? You just have a few letters on your page. Don't do that. Don't write anything. This is a listening task. It's one sentence. It's 3 or 4 seconds. There's not enough time. Just listen to the sentence. Don't write down the beginning of each word. That's impossible to do in 4 seconds. Yes, Madhu Babu says sometimes the sentences have background noise. I did notice that. Sometimes there's a little bit like it's not really clear, but you can still hear it. All right. I'm going to push on because I want to do some practice with you, okay? Technique for speaking. Here, okay. Say everything that you can remember in a sequence, okay? Say everything that you can remember. Copy the rhythm, copy the phrasing, copy the intonation, the up and down. And if you can't remember, fake it. Here's an example of copying it and faking it. So the sentence is, newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Okay, 2, 1, go. Newspapers are supported by the sale of advertising. Okay, you didn't get 2 words. That's okay. But you didn't restart. Importantly, you did not restart the sentence. You didn't hesitate. You didn't say and ah. You just faked it, okay? Newspapers are supported by the sale of advertising. That's all you can remember. That's fine. You missed a couple of words, but at least you did not wreck your oral fluency score, okay? Like all speaking tasks in the PTE, I shouldn't say all, most, there's content and then there's oral fluency and pronunciation. If you concentrate too hard on content, your pronunciation and oral fluency scores will decrease. Don't do that. They contribute a lot to your overall speaking score. Again, if you miss a few words, don't worry. Push through, fake it till you make it. Here is a few don'ts. Don't in the speaking technique. Don't and ah, don't hesitate, don't restart the sentence, and don't restart the words, okay? We will get to some practice in a second. I know you're all keen. I can feel it, but let's push on. Just a little bit more theory. Sentence parts. Most of the sentences have 3 or 4 parts. Yes, they have 10 or 15 words, but we're not memorizing individual words. We're memorizing sentence parts. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. This sentence has 3 parts. Newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. Sentences are made of parts, not individual words. We say this, newspapers are supported primarily by the sale of advertising space. We do not say newspapers are supported primarily by the, etc. You can see how the words join together to form phrases, and this is what you memorize. You don't memorize individual words, you memorize phrases or sentence parts. Okay, a bit of interaction now. Here is a sentence. It says, scientists have discovered 3 giant planets in a binary star system. Please write in the first sentence part into the Q&A. What's number 1? The first sentence part. Please write into the Q&A, not the chat. Please don't use the chat. Good. Okay, what's the first sentence part? Looking, looking, looking. Everybody's nailed it. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Correct, correct, correct. I forgot how I formatted my slides. We're going to have to stay on this. The answer is the first sentence part. Let me get out my highlighter. In fact, let me get out my squarey thing. Scientists have discovered. There's the first sentence part. What's the second sentence part, please? Type it into the Q&A. Good. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A lot of people. Oh no. Oh no. How do I get rid of the Q&A now? No, I can't get rid of the Q&A. Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna have to clear the drawings. Turn on my spotlight. Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna have to draw that first one. Okay, the first sentence part. Scientists have discovered. Second sentence part. 3 giant planets. Obviously, the third sentence part will be in a binary star system. Cool. So we're not remembering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words. We're remembering 3 parts. Much easier on the brain. Scientists have discovered 3 giant planets in a binary star system. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Whoa, that was a mistake. Let's go to this one. This one's a little bit more difficult. What is the first sentence part here, please? Let me read the sentence. Members of the Apollo space program are experiencing higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Let's have a look. Whoa, whoopsie, I gave you the answer. Ah, good, now you can't see it. Okay, good, good, well done. Yes, yes. Well, yes, most people, almost all of you have got the first part correct. Well done. Excellent. Members of the Apollo space program. What's the second sentence part, please? Good, good, good. All right, all right. All right, fantastic. Most of you are getting that as well. Members of the Apollo space program are experiencing. Okay. The third part, okay, this is where it gets a little complicated. For the third part, whoopsie, what's going on here? Why can't I see my, whoops. Okay, there it is, it's back, cool. Okay, here, members of the Apollo space program, definitely part 1, are experiencing, definitely part 2. Higher rates might be part 3, just this part, and part 4 might be of cardiovascular disease, okay? You might read it like that, or you might read it like this. Members of the Apollo space program are experiencing higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Let's take a look at this. Okay, members of the program, okay? Members of the program. That's very common. We hear that in English a lot. And the Apollo space program is also there. So we remember this as one part. Members of the Apollo space program, that's the first part we remember. Then we remember, whoops, where's my, sorry, I lost my pen here. Are experiencing, there's the verb. So we remember the verb. And I've lost my pen again. Wait 1 second. Whoa, this does this all the time. Higher rates of disease, cardiovascular disease. So yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's very difficult, but it's far easier to remember parts than individual words. Okay, what's going on? Let me clear my drawings. Okay, let's just, okay, sorry. Okay, this one has 4 parts. Let's do one more. What's the first part? The sentence is, climate change was less important for technological innovation among Stone Age humans. Please write down part 1. Let's have a look. Good. Please write down part 2. Yes, what's part 2? Good. Well done. Please write down part 3. Good. Well done. Viren's got it. Maxud's got it. Kingsley's got it. Khaled's got it. Good. Good, good, good. Good. Please write down part 4. Fantastic. By the way, I've had 718 questions to now, so if I haven't answered, I apologize. Right, let's look at this. Climate change was less important for technological innovation. Uh-oh, I don't know how I'll do this. Oh, you'll have to excuse me. Among Stone Age humans. Okay, let's get my highlighter out. 1, 2, 3, and, well, 4, including this part here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Climate change was less important for technological innovation among Stone Age humans. Much easier to remember 4 parts rather than however many words that is. Cool, let's push on. Let's do some, okay? Let's do some. This time I want you to write the entire sentence into the Q&A. Imagine this is repeat sentence. So you want to just listen very carefully. You want to absorb the sentence. It will be a bit more difficult because you have to type it, but that's okay. When you type it, you don't want to and ah. You don't want to restart your sentence. You just want to type your sentence once. I'll only do each of these once. Ready? Here we go. Long ago, one great ocean flowed between North and South America. I'm checking the Q&A. Just write as much as you can remember. Cool, pretty good, I must say. I thought that was pretty hard. Okay, and hopefully this will stop soon so I can pull out a few and give you a few examples. Okay, please stop writing into the Q&A so I can have a look at one of these sentences. I'm just going to, please stop. I'm going to start reading these out now. Long ago, one great ocean split between South and North America. Not bad, not bad. There's one word that's incorrect there, and the word is flowed. Somebody wrote split. That's okay. Okay, so here's another one. Long ago, one great ocean float between South America. The verb's wrong, and there's a bit missing, but that's okay. You got quite a lot of it. I'm going to start naming names, so please don't be embarrassed. Okay, Lalit says, long ago, one long ocean flows between North and South. Good, that's fine. It's not correct, but you've done quite well. Surendra says, long ago, an ocean flown between North and South America. Not bad, not bad. Let me see some others. Radhakrishna has actually broken it down into the chunks here, the phrases. Long ago, one great ocean flowed between North and South America. Perfect, Radhakrishna, well done. Okay, somebody's got the verb wrong here, but Pravita says, long ago, one great ocean flow between North and South America. Flowed, ed. One great ocean flowed. So you would get one error there, but not bad. Let's look at the answer. The answer is, long ago, one great ocean flowed between North and South America. Good. I'm happy. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. This time, I want you, when I read the sentence, I want you to really not be distracted. I want you to look down and just really let this sentence absorb, okay? So please look down, don't think about anything else. In 3, 2, 1. Teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Don't worry about punctuation, just type it. Of course, in write from dictation, you must worry about punctuation, but in repeat sentence right now, don't worry. Okay. Okay, well done, fantastic. I'm going to go up to the top now. I'm going to pull out a few examples. Okay, please stop typing. Please stop typing so I can use the Q&A thing, because otherwise it keeps moving. Okay, please stop typing. Okay, let me check some answers. Let me check. I'm just scrolling down. Okay. Deepti says, teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Perfect. Srinivasan, teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Perfect. Nalanda, teaching kids about drugs appears less controversial. Appears to be less controversial than ever before. Little mistake, that's okay. Benit, teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Perfect. Let's scroll down. Some of the slower people. Venkatash says, teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Perfect. Okay, Herman has said, teaching kids about drugs has less something than ever before. He's put some question marks. Herman, what I suggest you do, if you forget the middle part, just say what you can remember. For example, say, teaching kids about drugs ever than before, okay? Than ever before. Okay, Chendan has said, teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial, and you can't remember the last part. That's fine, just stop there. And just remember to speak clearly. You're not, don't hesitate, don't and etc. I have to drink some water or I'm going to die. Cool. All right. Just let me check. Do you want one more? If you want one more, type in yes. If not, type in no, please. Yes or no? Do you want more or not? Overwhelmingly, everybody's saying yes. Okay. Let's do some more. Whoa, what's going on? Okay, let's push on. This is the answer. Teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Let's do another one. This one's a bit harder. Again, listen. I want you to go like this. Block out the rest of the world. You're just listening now. Concentrate. In 3, 2, 1. A high-tech twist has been put on the ancient art of fiber spinning. Okay, Aubrey didn't get it. Srinivasan's done pretty well. Cool, very good, yeah. Okay, some people have been thrown by the first few words. The first few words were quite complicated. Okay, very good. All right. I'm just going to show you the answer here. The answer is, and this can happen, the first part of the sentence might throw you and your brain thinks, what? But don't worry, just keep listening and try and get the rest of the sentence. Remember to fake it, even if you say, a high has been put on the ancient art of fiber spinning. A high-tech twist has been put on the ancient art of fiber spinning. Let's do another one. This one's a bit easier, okay? Again, listen, block out the world, stare at something, let the sentence enter your mind. Shipping a car could be safer and more efficient than ever before. Let's have a look. Muhammad Islam is close. One word wrong, but that's okay. You still get 2 points for content as long as you don't hesitate or and ah. Yep, people are getting sort of like 90% right. Some people are getting 100% right. Nevertheless, you've focused in on that sentence. You haven't repeated anything. You haven't hesitated. You haven't and ah'd. You've just pushed that sentence out. Cool, let's look at the answer. Shipping a car could be safer and more efficient than ever before. So how would you memorize this in parts? Shipping a car could be safer and more efficient than ever before. 4 parts. One more. This time, don't type it. This time, speak it to me, okay? Even though I can't hear you, I just want you to say this one out loud. Ready? Concentrate, look down, stare at something. In 3, 2, 1. As global temperatures rise, how will lake ecosystems respond? I can't hear you, so I have no idea if you did that well or not. The answer to that one is, as global temperatures rise, how will lake ecosystems respond? You can see the intonation here. So you should have copied exactly what I said. Let's break these down. Let's not, actually, because we're running out of time. Let's actually, what we'll do, this is a good idea. This time, I just want you to say it, not write it, okay? I can't hear you. I can't give you feedback. Please listen carefully. We'll go through the same sentences. I want you to listen carefully, concentrate, and then say the sentence. And your wife or your husband or whoever will think you're a bit strange. You're speaking to yourself, but let's do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Long ago, one great ocean flowed between North and South America. There's the answer. Long ago, one great ocean flowed between North and South America. Here's another one. Listen carefully. Teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. I have no idea if you did well. There's the answer. Teaching kids about drugs appears to be less controversial than ever before. Next one. Again, copy the way that I say it. And don't hesitate, don't pause, don't and ah. And if you get stuck, just push through and say all the words you can remember. In 3, 2, 1. A high-tech twist has been put on the ancient art of fiber spinning. A high-tech twist has been put on the ancient art of fiber spinning. Next one. Just concentrate, relax, let the sentence enter your mind. Shipping a car could be safer and more efficient than ever before. Good. I hope you copied my intonation, my phrasing, etc. Shipping a car could be safer and more efficient than ever before. Last one. Say this as clearly as you can. Don't forget your pronunciation. In 3, 2, 1. As global temperatures rise, how will lake ecosystems respond? Cool. Here's that sentence. As global temperatures rise, how will lake ecosystems respond? Any questions? Any questions? Let's quickly go to questions. Sumit says, can we wait for the timer to finish instead of clicking next? Yes, don't worry about clicking next. This one, I can't remember if I clicked next or not. Doesn't matter. You can click next or you can wait for it to finish in silence. Doesn't matter. Okay, somebody said, Vishali says, no, you can't click next. Okay, fine. Okay. Any questions? Okay, it has to say completed, says Vaishali. Cool. All right. Can you just type into the Q&A whether you thought that was helpful? If you think that was helpful, please type in helpful. I'm just interested because I can't get feedback. Okay, excellent. Yep. Excellent. Cool. All right. All right. Someone said so, but that's life, I guess. All right. All right. Now I'm going to give you a little lecture about the importance of grammar. Let's push on. I don't want to keep you from having dinner. Grammar is really important in this, and let me tell you why. You need to know your grammar so you can repeat the sentences accurately. When I read some of those sentences before, I noticed that the verbs were incorrect. The nouns may have been singular when they should have been plural. The prepositions may have been missing or were wrong. Articles may have been missing or were incorrect, etc. Let me give you an example. This says, scientists have discovered 3 giant planets in a binary star system. This is wrong. scientists have discovered. If you know your grammar, you will know how to do this. Each sentence you hear will be grammatical, therefore you should say it back to the computer grammatically. Research, Okay, cognitive function improves on aerobic exercise. Cognitive function improves with aerobic exercise. Members of the Apollo space program are experiencing higher rate of cardiovascular disease. Well, that's wrong because it should say members of the Apollo space program are experiencing higher rates. The computer can hear higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Long ago, one great ocean flows between North and South America. In fact, I think I saw this sentence long ago in the past, therefore flowed. There's the verb, ed. So the difference between flows and flowed, the computer can hear that. Make sure you get your grammar right. Various important grammar to remember: verb preposition, like break into, break out, break off. Adjective preposition, happy about, scared of. Noun preposition, a commitment to, a dislike of, blah, 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 blah. I won't bother giving you a grammar lesson because on e2language.com we have over 200, everything from simple present verbs to sentences to more complex stuff here, okay? The key to repeat sentence is vocabulary. Vocabulary is key. Grammar is important, but vocabulary is key. If you don't understand the words, it's guesswork, okay? You need to build your academic vocabulary. If you need this word list, this is a PTE collocation word list, email hello@e2language.com and we will send you one. You need to build your academic vocabulary, but how? I suggest reading articles from sciencedaily.com along with using the app E2 Pronounce on your phone. It's really good. I'm going to push on. Does this technique really work? Well, here's my report card. I got 90, 90, 90, 90. Here's my colleague's report card. Kaya, she got 90, 90, 90, 90. Yes, the technique works. In summary, listen very carefully, clear your mind, absorb the sentence, relax. That's when listening. When speaking, say everything you can remember, but don't and ah. Don't hesitate. Don't restart the sentence or restart any words. Fake it till you make it. How to prepare? You need to, if you're beginning your PTE preparation, or doesn't matter actually, even if you've been doing it for a while, you need to start with skill building, build your vocabulary, improve your grammar, improve your pronunciation. Test strategy, watch webinars like this one or the other 12 webinars we have on the website. Test practice, well, we have test practice for repeat sentence on e2language.com. In fact, you can also take expert tutorials who can help you. Someone like me, when I had a better haircut, can actually sit with you and go through it with you. I'll leave it there. You can, if you're a free user, I highly recommend upgrading your account. We've got the webinars, we've got the online content, we've got the tutorials, we've got the app, we've got the grammar lessons, we've got vocabulary lessons, we've got word lists, we've got everything you need. So if you're thinking about upgrading, I highly recommend you do it. Let's quickly go to last questions. Okay, Rovan, it looks like you need a tutorial. I suggest you upgrade. Herman says, does this method apply for writing from dictation? Yes, it's almost exactly the same, except instead of speaking, you're typing. And in fact, the sentences are slightly easier than write from dictation. So yes, it applies. Good question. Will speaking speed affect oral fluency, says Hetal. Don't speak too quickly. Listen to the speed of the native speaker. You might speak a little bit more slowly. That's fine. Rashmi says she wants, or he or she wants a webinar on retail lecture. We have one on the website. You'll need to upgrade your account. Archie's got an exam tomorrow. Any last minute tips? Upgrade your account, watch the webinars because we give methods for each of the tasks. I would recommend that. Okay. Okay, Vishali needs help with pronunciation. I recommend E2 Pronounce. It's a fabulous app. Okay. Syed, please stop copying and pasting your question. Okay, I'm just looking at some last questions. Where can we find more repeat sentences? We're about to upload. Look, if you want to practice this, actually, you can just use sentences. Practice with your housemate or your wife or husband or brother or sister, and get them to read a sentence, short sentences of about 10 to 12 words, and you should practice repeating it. Okay. It won't be exactly the same quality as the actual PTE or like e2language.com, but it will still be helpful for you. Cool. All right. Okay. I've got to go. That's nearly 1 hour. Thank you very much for attending. I very much appreciate you coming along. I hope it was helpful. And next week we'll have another webinar on a different topic. But for the meantime, I hope you have a good night, and I will see you soon. Let me stop screen sharing and let me click end meeting. Bye-bye.